Is my screen is visible? Hello?
Yes, it's visible. Go ahead.
Okay. Withholding tax. Withholding tax, it is a tax, it is direct tax. In India, it is called as TDS. TDS stands for tax deducted at source. The concept of withholding tax was introduced in the 1961 with the objective of deducting the tax on income. It is one of the income tax method. A reason behind it withholding tax concept is that earlier there is a chance to taxpayers are escaping from the tax liability. That's why to overcome that loophole, the government introduced the withholding tax concept. In the withholding tax concept, the amount which is deducted at the source of the revenue, withholding tax is takes place direct from the earning of the employee by employer. It is paid to the central government as a part of the tax liability of individual. The central government of any country is liable for tax collection. In any business transactions, there are two parties are involved. One is the customer and another one is the vendor. The customer is authorized to deduct withholding tax for services rendered by the vendor. When the vendor raises the invoice on the customer deduct the withholding tax as per the rates per their government authorities and pay the remaining balance to the vendor. The tax deduction by the customer is after that paid to the government on a specified due dates. The customer give a withholding tax certificate to the vendor. After that, the vendor is set up the set up the this tax from the government on the annual rate. In SAP, we have two types of withholding tax. First one is class. To, first one is classic withholding tax. Second one is extended withholding tax. In the classic withholding tax,
Satish,
Yes.
your voice is not audible.
okay, someone is muted. Is my screen visible now? Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes,
Continue.
Satish.
Yeah, visible.
Yes, we can see you. We are able to see your screen also as well.
Okay. In extended withholding tax, we have some functionalities that not have in the classic withholding tax. That is, in the extended withholding tax, we can collect the TDS on the incoming payment and at the time of invoice, and with the help of the extended withholding tax, we make the partial payment and rounding up rules and discounts consideration. The concepts only available in the extended withholding tax. And after that, withholding tax is applicable to the assessees, and the government collected these persons individually, Hindu undivided family partnership form company. These are the persons collect the withholding tax uh, from the taxpayers. We have two types of deductive. First one is deductive employer, and second one is deductor. Uh, The deductor compulsory have the PAN card. The PAN card is permanent account number. It is a unique 10-digit alphanumeric number. It is used by income tax department. The primary purpose of PAN is to bring universal identification for all the financial transactions. All the deductee has to prove their PAN card details to avoid tax deduction on the highest rates. And TAN is maintained by the employer. TAN stands for tax deduction account number. TAN is the 10 digit alphanumeric number. This number has to be quoted by the deductor in every corresponding relating to the withholding tax. We have number of payment payment types, that is 194A section, interest, income, other from securities. For each payment type, we have separate tax codes that is decided by the government. So 194A is for income other than securities, 194C payment to contractors, and 194D insurance, commission and rent, and for 194J for professional technical services and payment to the nationalities, contractors, like that. And I'm going to explain the T-Day general entries. Here we can have three types of general entries. First one at the time of invoice, and second one at the time of payment, and third one after collecting the payment, T-Days collection, we have to pay the T-Days to the government. Example, here we have advertisement expenses 1 lakh at the rate of 2% T-Days. At the time of invoice payment, the entry is advertisement expense account data to 1 lakh, to vendor account 98,000, to T-Days payable account 2,000. Sometimes we receive the advance from the vendor. At the advance time, we collect the T-Days. In this time, the entry is vendor account data to 1 lakh, and to bank account 98,000, to T-Days payable account 2,000. And after paying the amount, T-Days amount to the government, the entry is T-Days payable account data 2,000 to bank account. Now going to explain the main factors including the withholding tax configuration. First of all, tax keys. The tax keys is nothing but the National Tax Authority use official withholding tax keys to identify different withholding tax types. You can identify with the type of tax key with the help of these tax keys. Here we can configure various tax keys which are applicable to the different scenarios. Example, contractors tax code on contractor is a tax key, and tax code on commission and brokerage, and tax code on professional and technical services. These are the tax keys. And next one is tax types. In SAP, withholding tax, you have we have two types of tax types. First one is invoice type, and second one is payment type. You after configuration the withhold tax types in withholding tax, after that we assign that tax types in customer and vendor master data. Invoice types. Withholding invoice tax type for posting at the time of entering a invoice in the FB, in the FB 60 or 70. For vendor it is FB 60, for customer FB 70. For posting invoice payment, we need to select only invoice types in that screen, FB 60 screen example. And payment type. Withholding payment type for posting at the time of payment. At the time and invoice payment, we need to select only payment type in that FB in F-53, like that. Tax codes. Tax code nothing but the percentages we need to give for different types of tax keys. The tax keys like that, the payment to the contractor, this one of the tax key. The government of that country will define the what is the tax amount percentage for that contract, the tax key, like that. The tax codes have minimum and maximum amount values. After that, coming to section code, is a system object that represents the organizational unit responsible tax for collecting the and remitting withholding tax. Each company can have more than one TAN. So in the SAP system, a company can have multiple section codes. Okay. the concept, overall concept withholding tax is there. I'm not unable to explain the configuration steps in SAP because of my server problem. Okay, thank you.